Hello students, this is the next installment of the GED classes. Today we're going to look at two words both pronounced capital. So let's look at the board together. Capital has one meaning, capital with an O. That is the building that is that is where part of the government meets. In the United States, it's where the Congress meets, the legislature, and it is usually a building with a dome on top. So the national capital is the building in Washington, D.C., where Congress meets. You also have state capitol buildings, and some of them have domes and some of them don't. But if you picture capital with a dome, and you can think that the letter O fits inside the dome because it's round, capital with an O is the building. That is the only thing that capital with an O means. Capital with an A means many things. We talk about a capital letter, an uppercase letter. Use a capital at the beginning of a sentence. We might be talking about the most serious. The murderer, the person who committed the murder, will receive capital punishment. Capital punishment is when they kill the person who committed the crime. Capital punishment, the most serious punishment. It can mean accumulated wealth or money of a company or business. I lost that sentence. Make sure your business has enough capital or enough money before you open another store. It can mean the city that is the seat of the government of a country or state. Austin is the capital of Texas. Paris is the capital of France. All of these capitals, capital letter, capital punishment, capital that means accumulated wealth, saved up wealth, capital that means the seat of a government, the city or state where the government is seated. All of these are AL. Now here's an interesting thing. Capitals are usually, or if not always, in the capital with an A, city or state. So we drove to Austin because it's the capital of Texas and visited the Capitol with an O building. A little confusing, isn't it? There's actually more to learn on this topic. Let me see if I've got the address up there. Here we go. If you go to Grammarly.com and put in these two words, there will be more examples to help you know the difference between capital with an O, which is only one thing, it is the building, or capital with an A, which has many meanings. Okay, let me change this up a little bit now. Now we are going to get our book out. If you have the GED Prep Book 2018, we are on page 110, 110. Go to Understanding, or let's see, Interpreting Fiction, Figurative Language. Now, I'm not going to talk directly about what the book says today, but I do want you to notice something very important in the margin of the book. So let's read this little section together. You are not penalized for wrong answers on the GED test, so do not leave any answers blank. If you return to a skipped multiple choice question and still cannot determine the answer, narrow the choices to the two most reasonable and then select the one that makes the most sense. So if you don't know which answer is right, figure out the answers you know are wrong and then pick from the ones that are left. That will help you make a much better score, even if you don't know exactly which is the answer. I am going to let you at home read the details of this page, and I'm just going to tell you about figurative language. I can say, I ran to the store, or I can say, I flew like a bird to the store, or I ran like a deer to the store. Am I a deer? Am I an animal? Am I a bird? No. But to give you a picture of maybe that I went very fast, I might say, instead of saying I went to the store quickly, I might say I flew like a bird to the store, or I ran like a bird. So sometimes we use like or as to compare something to something else, a person going fast to a deer or a bird. Sometimes you compare those things without using like or as. You could say, during a race, he is a deer. D-E-E-R. That means he runs very fast like a deer. Or in a race, he is a racehorse. But you're talking about a person. But you're saying he is a racehorse, you mean he is very fast. Not that he is a horse, but that he is very fast. And then sometimes we compare something that is not alive to a person. So we might say the old building groaned in the wind. Does a building groan? Does it go, oh, that's groaning? This does not want to stay put. Does an old building groan? But it might make noises when the wind blows. My house sometimes has been making noises at night in the wind. So I might say, my house groaned in the wind. It's really the boards are squeaking or the roof is moving a little bit. But when I say it groaned, that is using a term that would be as if the building was a person. So if you would like to read more about figurative language and how it's used to describe things, read page 110. And you can look at the little sample and the sample questions and answers, and it will tell you in your book which one is right and which one is wrong. But now I want you to go to the practice side right here, and I want you to turn off the computer and read the selection and work through the questions and answers and pick the answer that you think is best. So turn it off and then turn it back on again after you've answered the questions. I am going to erase the board and then I will talk some more. Whoops. Well, I didn't intend to take that board down yet, but I just did, didn't I? So let's look at the questions and answers. And I had written down the answers, but I'm not sure where I put them. Okay. Well, I will write them along this edge here if I can find... I'm missing a lot of things, but I don't want to start the tape over. Here we go. I will write down the answers. So if you read a part of this poem, it was an excerpt from a poem that's named in French and means lunch on the grass. So it is about some people having lunch on the grass, maybe a picnic. And we are going to ask questions about the figurative language in the poem. Number 1, what is compared to a water stain on silk? What answer do you have? The correct answer is B. And it sends us to the paragraph. It says stanza 2. The sections of a poem are called stanzas and they're numbered on the side. So number 2, the second part says, above us a patch of cloud spreads, darkening like a water stain on silk. So what is darkening like a water stain on silk? The clouds are. B is the only answer that works. If you simply look over to stanza 2, and without reading the whole poem, you can clearly see that it is about clouds. You may not know that it means rain clouds approaching, but B is the only one about clouds, so we know that's the answer. Let's look at number 2. What is meant by the statement, lament their ruined faces, stanza 4? Let's read that. Don't sit there. The cushions were soaked by the shower. What does that mean? A shower is a little bit of rain, and the pillows that they were sitting on have been soaked or gotten very wet. Already the girls have drenched their crimson skirts. If you drench something, you get it very wet. So the girls' crimson or red skirts are wet. And then this final part, beauties, their powder streaked with mascara, lament their ruined faces. What is mascara? I'm guessing the ladies all know it is the makeup you put on your eyelashes. So their mascara is running down their face because it has gotten wet. So 2, C, the rain caused their makeup to run. 3, why is the edges of the curtains are embroidered by the river foam, stanza 4, an effective use of figurative language? The answers are, it helps the reader see that the people forgot to close the windows and curtains. Is there any mention here of windows and curtains for 3? No. And let me quick write the answer to number 2. 2 is C. Now we're on 3. B, the wind is so strong that it is blowing spray from the river into the boat. It talks about river foam, so this one concerns the river, so it could be B. The curtains are beautifully edged with lace. Again, there's nothing in this paragraph about real curtains. So it is not A or C. And D, the river is rising quickly. So the edges of the curtains are embroidered by the river foam. So this is something about river foam. This is hard. B or D would be good guesses, but B is the only one that is talking about foam, about spray from the river. Another word for spray would be foam. But if you did not know that, you could see that B and D are about the river, so you could choose one of them. But B is the correct answer. Number 4, according to the speaker, how was the change from summer to autumn? Quick and easy, halting and uncertain, slow and predictable, pleasant and smooth. I found this the most possibly difficult question. Is this talking about pleasant? Happy? I don't think so, because they have a picnic. It starts out pleasant, but then they all get wet. So it is definitely not D. Let's look back in the back of the book. Let's see. A knife cuts through a melon easily, at least some melons. And that is how cold, wet autumn weather has cut through the warm, sunny day. So the answer is A, quick and easy. Even if you were not sure if it was A, you can know for sure that it is not D. Now let's look at 5. Which of the following words best describe the tone of this poem? Gentle and calm, humorous and playful, wry and observant, dry and formal. That is another challenging question. I think, and the book agrees with me, that C is the correct answer. Wry and observant. Wry means somewhat humorous. If you didn't see some humor, you could see definitely that the writer was observant. They talk about the cushions. They talk about the water lilies. They talk about slicing roots of the lotus plant. They talk about how things look. The clouds are like a water stain on silk. So it's very observant. So C is the correct answer. Okay, so can you see all the correct answers there? B, C, B, A, and C. How are these videotaped lessons? I find them a little bit difficult because I don't hear your answers and you can't ask me questions. There is another format that we could do these lessons on. If we could pick a time that most of us could come, instead of watching videos, we could do it online using Zoom, which is a free program you can download on the internet. So, if you think that is a good idea to stop doing video lessons and do a little bit longer group lessons, then I want you to email me at beth.barron@yahoo.com and tell me which of these times would be better. 9 to 10 in the morning, 10 to 11 in the morning, or 4 to 5 in the afternoon. We would have it at a certain time and everyone would get onto the computer at that time and hear and participate in a Zoom lesson. Even though it is only an hour, I think we can get as much done if I give you homework before that to read and do certain lessons ahead of time. So please email me. That email address again is beth.barron@yahoo.com. If one of these times would be good, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, to do these GED lessons together online, and you would be able to ask questions and I could call on you and we could talk. So let me know if that works for you. Otherwise, I will keep doing 2 of these short video lessons every week. Have a good day. I miss you.